I had a bunch of people around me that could help me understand how to run 100 milers, but it was when I was preparing for for Cocodona last year. That's when I met Mike, and I'd been a vegetarian since high school.
Oh,
My whole
wow.
life I've been a vegetarian, and we had a conversation. And several weeks after that first conversation, Jackie took me to a place there in Dallas, and I bought my first steak. Don't know how to order it, don't know what to expect. I'm kind of queasy to my stomach. I'm like, man, I think the name of that place was Wild Child or Flower Child, maybe, but it's all organic, the best stuff. I could eat about 2 bites, but it changed my running. It changed how I felt after I ran 100 miles. 2 days later, I could go run. I'm like, I don't understand this. And Mike's like, it's because of what you're eating and how low carb works. And he really kind of introduced me to the OFM. Well, then you start researching that, and then you guys come up, and I'm like, well, what's the deal here? And then you start using it, and you're like, oh, this,
Yeah.
this is why it costs this much, and because it works, and because it's great, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of other
And the recovery is worth the price of entry, because the
the recovery.
recovery, the recovery is really not because you're recovering faster, it's because you prevented the damage to your cells in the first place. And
Right.
that's what we're seeing, like with Peter and Jeff.
I get asked questions, after some of the back-to-back projects that we do, like Bandera 100K and then Coldwater Rumble 100, all within, I don't know, 7 days of each other. People are like, how do you do that? And it's really this low carb approach. It's the OFM approach. And,
Well, it's not, and it's not no carbs. It's just we are you're
right,
doing you do restrict carbs, but you also bring them in when it's appropriate,
right, right.
right? I
And
mean,
just,
that's people get pigeonhole us into the keto thing, and that's a problem, because if you
yeah,
do straight keto, you limit your performance,
right. Yeah,
right?
no, we're still eating nachos sometimes, and we still
Yeah,
have pancakes every once in a while with our eggs and bacon,
yeah,
so yeah,
yeah, yeah. People think you can't eat anything anymore, and then the keto people are like shocked you're having pancakes, right?
right. Yep.
And
Oh yeah.
so yeah, so you're on this path. So how is that working out? I mean, it makes it pretty easy, because you don't really diet, right? You just know what to eat, when to
Yeah.
eat it.
Right. No, I think it probably started a bit that way. Mike had a
Yeah,
nutrition plan just because I was so uneducated on how food works in the body. He really, the initial first 3 to 6 months with Mike was really about, he would say, okay, you need 30 grams of carbs. What is that? Is that a bagel? Is that, I don't know what that is. And of course, he laughed. It's like, that's what people think when you tell them to eat carbs. They're like, okay, so I need to eat, some bread or something. It's like, no, there's carbs in blueberries. There's carbs
yeah,
in, there's good carbs, sweet potatoes, a slow burning carb, and I just learned all this stuff about food, and the science just has me geeking out. Like, I'm definitely a math finance nerd. I love the numbers, but this whole science about how our body works and how our bodies were made to work and the kind of food that we were designed to eat. You said something the other day, Peter, about we were made to move, and we were made to
yeah,
move a lot.
a lot. Yeah, those are my three constants. We're individuals. We're meant to burn fat aerobically, and we're meant to
Right.
move a lot.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the way it is. And you know, as a biologist, that's it makes sense to me, but it's like we've so altered it. Like you say, when you got into banking, you're so deep into banking, you're in what I call the man-made construct, and you're so far removed from your natural world. And that's what we've done with our diet and movement, is we've altered those. For most people, we're living in this fantasy world that's so far removed from nature. And even with road running, it's so structured and timed, whereas the trail, you kind of get in that alignment It's easy to get into that alignment. And then once you get yourself into that, what I call the switch, and you're into that fat burning mode, you just, you know, you can go hours on, you know, Vespa salt water and a trickle of calories, and you feel fine doing so, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I was sharing with Mike that the aid stations were a little more conservative at Antelope Island.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I probably took in about 1,000 calories during that
Mm-hmm.
100 miler. And, you know, we were fourth female and we were second in our age group. And all the rest of my fuel came from Vespa. I love
Well,
the ultra
it didn't come
concentrate.
from Vespa. It came from your body fat that Vespa was helping to
Well,
burn. Yeah,
it's
put on milk.
interesting. It's just so interesting, and I just think it's so cool. Just kind of learning, you know, someone who, because mom was very obese, health does not run in our family, just like finance didn't run in our family. That's why I went to college for finance, and now it's like I'm just learning all these tools from you and from, you know, these guys, and it's so cool and it's so neat.
This is why I find your story very good. Is you're taking control of your life. You're empowering yourself to create the
Mhm.
life you want to live. And it's not only just from an empowerment story, from the health standpoint, right?
I one of the quotes that I love so much, and I saw it just not too long ago. It said, "It ran in my family until it ran into me." And but you know, I mean, we're of a generation where we gotta wake up and we gotta educate ourselves, and the resources are out there, right? You've been out there for quite some
Yeah.
time, and you know, I think we're in the space where we have these social media platforms, and we need to have these conversations so people know the resources that are out there, and they can educate themselves and they can make better choices and decisions. I think sometimes we can just find ourselves going through life, and before you realize it, you're just tolerating life and you're not really living life. And so I think it's important for us to have the hard conversations, send the scary email, make the difficult decision. And we can really only do that when we make decisions in love and not make decisions in fear. So that would just be my biggest learning over the last, you know, part of this journey is the more we make decisions in love and not make decisions in fear, we're going to be steered in the right direction regardless of the outcome.
I think that's one of the things that ultra trail running, you know, you can be out in the middle of nowhere and having a bad night, you know, you just one step in front of the other, and then you find out, wow, I actually got through that.
Yeah, this is not forever. This is just for now, you know?
Yeah.
So when you're in that dark spot, it's this too will pass. Every ultra runner knows this won't last. And just around the corner, the sun will rise and the thing is going to be amazing. And you only get to experience that though if you keep going, right?